Good morning. Okay, welcome to ACC CAM certification preparation in partnership with the Association of Anti-Money Laundering Specialists, ACAMS. Today is a complimentary revision day. So we will not have any presentation, rather than we will take your questions about the exam. If any question you felt that is not clear, or you need more clarification on why this is the right answer, that's how we will go about it. So we'll not go one by one, but we will just take your there are easy ones, which we already discussed over the course. So if there's anyone having any difficulty with any question, let's take that. I think it's be more productive and practical.
No, let Dr. Hussam, let's go like first question asked. Is there any question? If anyone has a question, they will ask. Otherwise, it's easy. We'll go to the next.
Okay, great. So
we'll move over the question.
Yeah,
sure.
One. Anybody has any question for question one? Question two, like this.
No. Question.
Number 2, why is a payable through account vulnerable to money laundering, right? That's the one? Okay. So in question number 2, the answer is A. So these are master correspondent accounts established at a domestic bank by a foreign bank that allow the customers of the foreign bank to do a wide range of transactions. That's exactly as per the definition, which is already mentioned in your presentation and handouts. B, C, and D are wrong. These are correspondent accounts located in non-cooperative country. No, it's not a non-cooperative country. These are nested correspondent account at a foreign shell bank. No, it doesn't involve shell bank. These are master escrow account. It's not escrow account. It's a correspondent account. So that's why the right answer here is A. 5. 5. Okay. 6. Okay. 7.
6 refining. What is 6 refining?
Yeah. Refining is the answer here is B. Small bills into large bills, and I said it's the opposite of change. 7. Okay, 7. No worries.
We are asking refining. So small bills. Hassan refining.
Yeah, refining is small bills into large bills, so it's B.
Okay. So it's opposite of structuring.
No, it's opposite of change. Like when you do a change, you give $500 dirham bill, you get hundreds or tens. That's change. Refining is I'll give 100 dirham bill or tens, and then I'll get 500s or thousands. Okay. 7, the right answer here is D, 1, 2, and 4. Okay. 3 is wrong. Online gambling provides an excellent method of laundering because it lends itself to any type of cash movement. The mistake here, or the error here, is cash movement. It's not a cash movement. The remaining are all correct. So 7 is D, 1, 2, and 4.
2 and 4.
So the wrong answer is
It's 3. Yes, 3 is wrong. Because of the word cash movement. It's online, so it's not a cash movement.
because the answer sheet doesn't have any.
It's okay, maybe it's missed. Yeah. But the right answer here is D, 1, 2, and 4. Okay, so which one after 8?
8 is fine.
8 is fine. 9? Fine. 10?
Here there is no threshold.
Yeah, whenever there is a suspicion, no threshold. Even if I suspect $1, I'll file an STR for the $1. 10? No. 11? Okay. 12? Okay. 13?
13 also okay. We already
Okay.
discussed it. 14 were
14?
already discussed.
Did. Okay. 16? We need 16? Okay. So it's a case study. How do we deal with the case study? We read the question. Which of the following should the specialist recommend? Terminate the relationship. Done.
Which is it?
We are talking about 16 now. So which of the following should the specialist recommend? Terminate the relationship with the account owner if possible. Monitor the account for continued suspicious activity. Contact the account owner again about the nature of suspicious transaction. Seek guidance from the legal department and senior management regarding a decision to terminate the account. So the right answer here is D. Seek guidance from the legal department and senior management regarding a decision to terminate the account. You cannot terminate on your own without consulting with legal, so A is wrong. You cannot monitor the account for additional suspicious activity if you already filed 2 STRs. You cannot contact the account owner and tip him off telling him that we are monitoring his suspicious activity. So all the A, B, and C are wrong.
So this is the chapter 3, right?
This one will be
4.
chapter 4, conducting or supporting the investigation process. Yep. Okay, so 17. Okay, you need that? Okay, 18.
18, okay.
Okay, we answered that as well. 19.
We asked this first.
19 is easy as well. 20.
20.
20.
Yeah.
A foreign shell bank is without a physical presence, we're incorporated and not regulated. We mentioned the shell bank is incorporated in a state where it has no physical presence and is not a part of any regulated banking group. So there is no physical presence of the head office and there is no association with a regulated banking group. So A here is correct. So it is without a physical presence, we're incorporated. That means in the place of incorporation, no physical presence and not regulated. Okay? Without a physical presence, we're incorporated but regulated. That's not a shell bank.
Why it is not regulated?
Because it doesn't have a head office. If there is no head office, that means it's not regulated. When it could be regulated, if it doesn't have a head office, but it is part of a regulated banking group. Yeah? So a non-regulated affiliate, no. Having branches in offshore areas, no. So the right answer here is A.
So not regulated here means not.
That means it's not having any tie-up with a regulated banking group. So they just, put it the other way around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because not regulated means, see, it is not under regulation. Like, means but not licensed, but it is regulated because if Shell Bank, normally they are taking license.
Yeah. They're taking license, but they're not regulated. Why? Because the regulation normally of any bank follows the regulation of its head office. If I don't have a head office, that means I'm not regulated. And that's why we said, even if it doesn't have a head office, but it is part of a regulated banking group, then in this case, it's not a shell bank. Like, for example, if today I set up a shell bank, and I'm a lawyer, so I'm a gatekeeper. I set up shell bank, and I put the head office of the shell bank on my legal office. That means there is no physical head office. But then I signed an agreement with Citigroup. I became part of Citigroup. In this case, I'm not a shell bank. Why? Because having this tie-up with Citigroup, that means my regulation will follow the regulation of the head office of Citigroup. You get the point? But not having a head office at all and standalone, that means I'm not regulated.
Because now banks which suppose they have, because there is no head office, it is not regulated.
Exactly. Yeah. So we can overcome this by having a tie-up with a regulated banking group. Then in this case, I'll become regulated. The main issue of the shell bank that it is not regulated. This is the main issue of a shell bank. It's a bank without regulation. Although, as I mentioned, the branches of that shell bank could be regulated. Like as I gave an example of BCI, which was here in UAE in the 80s. That bank was under Central Bank of UAE regulation. But why this bank is not regulated? Because the head office of that bank was in Luxembourg. If you go to Luxembourg, you will find in that address a lawyer office. That means there is no head office. So BCI was not a regulated bank, it was a shell bank. Yep. So 20 is fine. Okay, 21. Okay, 21. the right answer here is C. So both banks must block transactions that are by or on behalf of blocked entity or to go through a blocked entity. So
Entity here means
blacklisted. I mean,
it may be bank, it may be a institution.
exactly. Yeah. So we mentioned when we make a transfer, for example, we need to make sure that the sender is clear, beneficiary is clear, beneficiary bank is clear, beneficiary country is clear. And then we have the purpose of the account. That's in case of an outward transfer. In case of an inward transfer, we look at the receiver, which is the account holder. We look at the sender, who's wiring the money, the sender bank, and the sender country. These all have to be clean, not on the blacklist, and we need to see the purpose of the transfer. Okay? So 21, the right answer here is C, both 1 and 2. Okay? 22, anybody wants that? Okay, 22. 22, the right answer here is A. So the monitoring process in trade finance transaction should give greater scrutiny to customers conducting business in higher risk jurisdictions, which is correct. Customers conducting business through nested accounts. I mean, there is no nested accounts here, right? Customers that purchase monetary instruments below the threshold. That's a faraway distractor. So the right answer here is A.
Why? Because of that, trade.
Because of
Trade finance, that's trade-based money laundering.
Yeah, only TBML.
Yeah. Trade-based money laundering, TBML.
There can be involvement of nested accounts, isn't it?
Like a short one.
No, it's not going to be nested account in this case because mainly we are looking at nested accounts in terms of correspondence relation. It's not a correspondence relation here. Yeah. Okay. 23.
23, just we guessed.
Uh-huh.
Guessed it because after 1991. Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's 2001.
2001.
That's right.
That's the only analysis.
Yeah. So 23 is 2001. It's C. Okay. 24.
Is okay. 24 is okay.
25. 25. You want that? Yeah. The right answer here is D. None of the above would be satisfactory. It means nothing. So a CAM certified employee in the investigation unit writes up a few policies and procedures and posts them on department bulletin boards. No. Shortly after attaining the CAM certification, the individual provides AML training to the investigation unit. No. The CAM certified individual routinely reviews the work of the investigation unit. No. The CAM certified individual assumes the responsibility of a compliance watchdog. We are not a watchdog, so this is wrong as well. So
The third one is tricky. That scam certified individual routinely reviews the works of an investigation unit.
yeah, no,
Because they are not a specialist in investigation.
exactly.
Okay, if it is a compliance unit,
If you talk about the compliance,
yeah, if it is a compliance unit, then I think it will be right.
then that's right. Yeah. Okay. So this is clear. Yeah. Okay. 26.
26 also tricky question.
Yeah. You want 26? Okay. So 26. The right answer here is D. In determining what risks a customer poses when consideration, which consideration should not be a major factor. Take care of not. Okay. So we don't want the major factor. So in this case, what are the customer ethnic heritage, sexual orientation, and political beliefs? That's not something which should be the major factor. But where the customer resides, this is important, or where the customer is headquartered, yes. What is the size of the financial institution? Yes. What occupation or type of business does the customer derive income from? Of course, source of funds, that's very important. So A, B, and C are major factors, but because he said not a major factor, of course, D is not the major factor.
How the size of the financial institution is a major factor?
Because your client here could be a financial institution. As I mentioned, like not every bank opening an account in another bank is a correspondency relation. So in this case, HSBC, for example, can open a bank account with, let's say, Mashreq Bank, where HSBC here is a client. So the size of the financial institution is part of my KYC.
But it says size of your financial institution.
What is the size of your financial institution?
Because that's why we all put B mostly.
Yeah.
Because that is not related to customer. See, in KYC, we lost their sexual or orientation. That's whether male or female. We will ask.
Right.
With what is the everything they will ask.
Yeah.
Is KYC.
Yeah, but here, what's the size of your financial? That means the customer is owning a financial institution. So what's the size of it? It's important because that will determine his income as well. Here, it's not clear whether he's opening a personal account or a financial institution account. The financial institution here could be, for example, a check cashing company. So if I'm opening an account for the check cashing company, it's important to know the size of the financial institution. Even if I'm the owner of the check cashing company, it's important to know the size of my business, right? Because that will affect my income at the end of the day. It's part of the KYC. But what doesn't apply, it doesn't affect me what is the ethnic heritage, what is the sexual orientation, because that's discrimination. We cannot differentiate customers based on these factors or political beliefs. He didn't say, here it's tricky, why? Because people may think that this is a political connection. Political connection is important, but political beliefs, all these are clear elements of discrimination. So we don't discriminate against our customers. Yeah? It's a tricky question as well. So as I told you, you need to read very, very carefully. Okay, 27.
It's a must. This one
It's a must, huh? Okay. So 27, the right answer is B. So which of the following scenarios will most likely require the filing of a suspicious activity report, SAR, with the national FIU? Okay. 1, a dance nightclub located near a Midwestern community college makes $9,000 cash deposit every day. The deposited items are solely $50 and $100 bills. Is there a suspicion here? What do you think?
below the threshold.
In nightclub located, it can have deposit items are solely tea.
Or 100? No, it shouldn't be. It should not be. That's a suspicion. So 1 is requiring or is a trigger for an STR. Then 2, a check cashier makes $9,000 dollars cash deposit every day. The deposited items are primarily $10 and $20 bill. Again, that's not normal. There is suspicion in here, right? A grocery store makes multiple ATM deposits each day at around the same time. The deposits are a combination of checks and cash, mostly smaller bills. In total, there are usually 400, 500 items deposited each day. That's pretty normal. Normally, every grocery will deposit at the same time because that's either they deposit at the end of the day after they close or early day the following day in the morning. So it's always the deposit of the whole day income. And they do accept checks, they do accept cash, so they are mainly depositing whatever they have made for the day. So that's pretty normal. There's no suspicion in here. A busy around-the-clock gas station, convenience store located at a major intersection makes 3 deposits each calendar day, utilizing tellers, night drops, and ATMs. The total cash deposit on weekdays often comes near the currency reporting threshold. Monday deposits require the bank to file currency transaction reporting due to the aggregation of the weekend deposits. However, this is done in the back office without the customer's knowledge. There is no issue here at all. That's a very normal business model. So there is no reason to suspect. Yeah, I mean the club here is literally. I mean either here it's a front because they are mainly depositing these kinds of bills, but normally in the club you have all kinds of bills. So why specifically the $50 and the $100 bills in specific? And the other one also why they are putting $10 and $20 bill only. So yeah, I mean these are really not justifiable. Okay. 28 is fine. You want the 28? Huh? It's A. Itself is a crime and it is built upon another crime. We said money laundering, you always have to have a predicate crime. So money laundering itself is a crime and it's always an outcome of a predicate crime.
That was the first.
A. Yeah. Okay, 29. Anyone who wants that? Okay. 29, the right answer is D. So by laundering money from criminal activity, criminals are able to distance themselves from the criminal source of funds, yes, because there is layering. More easily hide and transfer the illegal funds, yes. Increase their profits by investing in legitimate assets, because as I said, at the integration stage, they have two options, whether to use it for legal purposes or illegal purposes. So legal purpose at the integration stage is an option. So all the three are correct.
The second one only it was that option more easily hide easily.
Yeah.
It cannot be more easily because they will have to have some kind of.
No, when they launder, it makes it easier for them to hide. That's why they launder it, to make it clean. So when they make it clean and they make lots of layering, because the layering transactions are a series of legal transactions. This is the catch in here. That's why one time also, I don't know if I put this in the exam or no. I mentioned that which of the three stages is a legal transaction: placement or layering or integration. So placement is a cash deposit. Layering is transfers. Integration is withdrawal. So the only illegal transaction here is the placement, because you are placing illegal funds into the financial system. Once the funds hit the financial system, they become legitimate. But why they need the layering? Because if they left it like this, let's say if I have an account today having only one transaction which is illegal, it's very easy to detect. The chances of detecting it is 100%. If I made one more transaction which is legal, the chances of detection is 50%. If I made two or three transactions which are legal and one illegal, the chances here are 25%. So the more illegal transactions I do, I make it more difficult for detection. That's why I said that the money launderer is more prone to detection at the placement stage. That's where he's doing the illegal transaction. Once you wait and he starts doing more of the layering, which are legal transactions, it will be difficult to detect and find the one illegal transaction among, let's say, 100 transactions. You got the point? So when I launder the money, I'm doing series of layering transactions, series of legal transactions. So it will become easier for them to hide or transfer the illegal funds because they managed to clean it and they managed to conceal it. That's.
But you mentioned something about increasing the profit. I remember you said it's not. They don't care about. They don't care.
Increase. They care about increasing profit because we mentioned that in money laundering, the main motive is profit. They are laundering money because they want money. They want to make money. And they want to make money. That's why they go and do illegal activities, because that's an easier way for generating a larger amount of money.
They lose, but sometimes, as you mentioned,
No, a money launderer cannot lose. Cannot lose. Even if you give 70% commission, he is also on a big gain. He cannot lose. Even if he tried to lose, he will not be able to make it. The terrorist is the only one who loses because he spends out of his own pocket. Yeah?
Yes, actually, because of that, he may be losing the less percentage, but he's not.
It's not a loss. I always call it as an operating expense.
Yes.
Like, for example, today, I rent an office. Maybe my office, the rent is 250,000. Is it a loss? No, it's an operating expense. But when my office rent is more than my income, then here I'm making a loss. So whatever he's spending, as far as he's still having a profit margin, he's not on loss. It's an operating expense. So he's ready to give up 30% of his revenue for the purpose of cleaning his money. That's an operating expense. I'm ready to pay a high office rent to be in a prime location to get business. Right or no? So that's how it is. So a money launderer cannot lose. This is a rule of thumb.
The ideology of money laundering is profit.
Yeah. If he's losing, then why he's... So he's doing illegal activity and he's losing, that means he's stupid. Yeah.
We have a clash with two concepts that you discussed with us before.
Sure,
The
please.
first concept is the something for nothing and nothing for something.
That's trade-based money laundering. No, that's a trade-based money laundering. Sell something for nothing, sell nothing for something. In both situations, he's making a good transfer of value, and he's making money. Okay, he's not losing here.
Okay, but we were confused because you didn't emphasize on the profit about money relative. That's what we thought.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me clarify this. Let's say today I want to transfer a value. Let's say I have $1 million from selling drugs. Did I make profit or no? Selling drugs, getting $1 million. Okay, I want to move this $1 million out of the US. We are now in the US. So I want to move this $1 million out of the US. I have so many ways to do that. I can go through the airport and try to do smuggling where the percentage or the possibility of getting caught is very high. That's not the best way. But I can easily move that by trade-based money laundering. So what I will do, I will use this 1 million, okay, to buy, let's say, Rolex watches in the US. Each watch, let's say I bought 5,000 Rolex watches. Each watch costed me, 20 watches. Each watch costed me $5,000. 20 into 5,000, let's say it's like, or 200. 200 into 5,000 is 1 million, okay? So I transfer this 1 million into Rolex watches. Then I go to the bank. We will make an LC that I need to export a Rolex replica watches. So in the invoice, I'm not going to be putting a Rolex watch, but I'll put a Rolex replica. So instead of the price of the 200 Rolex watches was $5,000 per watch, I'll put that the price of each of these 200 watches is $5. So 5 into 1,000 into 200 is 1,000. So when I ship this 200 Rolex watches up outside of the US, I'm going to get paid $1,000 only. But the actual value that I managed to move 1 million value of goods out of the US. In this case here, what am I doing? I'm doing underpricing. Okay? I can sell something for nothing. That means I would say that these Rolex replicas are free sample. So the value here is 0. Why do I need to open an LC? Because I'm going to charge them the shipping cost. So the goods here, I'm selling something for nothing. So I shipped the 200 Rolex watches, and I didn't get paid for it. It's for free. Okay? So I'm here selling something for nothing. It can be done the other way around. I have the $1 million here in the US. I will have one foreign company buy with $1,000, let's say, pencils. Then we will make an LC that I want to import this $1,000, let's say 100 pencils, which is $10 per pencil, that's 1,000. But in this case, I will charge per pencil that the price per pencil is $1,000. So $1,000, let's say, into 100 pencils, that's 100,000 or 1 million. So I'm going to receive pencils which are worth $1,000, and I will pay for it $1 million. So here, I did overpricing. The same thing, these pencils can be a free sample. So I will receive the pencils free of charge. I will only pay for the shipping cost, and that company will be selling, I'll be selling something for nothing as well. But in this case, the container can be empty. So I'll pay 1 million for an empty container. They will not ship anything. So here, they sold nothing for something. Okay? So in both scenarios, in the 4 scenarios, whether I did overpricing or underpricing or selling something for nothing or nothing for something, I managed to launder money. I managed to get the $1 million dirty money out of the US to some other place in the world. You got it? So it's not a loss. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, clear.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so question number 30. Is it? Okay. 30. Cannot be 2 fingers. 30 is B. Yeah, 31. You need 31? Huh? 30 is B. 30,
Role in the United States anti-money laundering campaign.
31 is C. Yeah. 32, B. 33, B. 34, 33 is B. Identify the stage in money laundering process where funds are being constantly moved or recharacterized to conceal their origin. That's the layering. Okay? Huh? Great. So 34, A. 35, D. Yes? D as in daddy.
Collection, dissemination.
Yeah. 36B. 37D. 38D. Daddy. 36B. Bravo. 37D.
36 they want explanation.
Daddy. Anyone not clear? 36? Sure. 36. Criminals launder money because. Okay, so the right answer here we mentioned it is B, so it's 1, 2, and 4. So the wrong answer here is 3. Criminals launder money because criminals try to steal money from the bank that they use for laundering money laundering activities. Now, right?
Steal money, that is
No. Okay. Okay. 37, daddy. 38, alpha. 37D. 2 and 4. 1 and 3 are wrong.
placement techniques here.
Yep, placement. So 1, a construction worker in Dubai uses an unlicensed alternative remittance system to remit legal funds to his family in India. That's not placement. And he clearly mentioned legal funds already. So the placement is already done. That's not a placement. Then 3, a doctor in Alabama makes a monthly single cash deposit of $9,000 in his local bank. No transaction report is filed. That means it's clear money, clean money. So that's not a placement. Okay? 38, alpha. True. 39.
38 true.
Yeah, 38 is true.
Money launderers are after the operational instrument to layer their illegal funds.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong here. It's true. Okay.
39 you can discuss.
39, it is alpha as well, true. So indicate whether the following statement is true or false. Layering technique include giving bearer shares in a shell company to an individual who is not affiliated with the company. Yeah, he's here trying to layer. Yeah. Hiring a lawyer to oversee company accounts in offshore jurisdictions. That's fine. Transfer.
Lawyer also is a layering.
Yeah, because they as I said, they use the gatekeepers. So why did they use the gatekeepers? To layer their money laundering activities, right? So transferring funds.
It was not clear. Oversee the company accounts.
Yep.
It's only just he's hiring a lawyer to oversee the company accounts.
In offshore jurisdictions. So why did they move it to offshore? For layering purposes. That's layering. Yeah. Transferring funds to offshore bank account of a shell company. Again, layering. So all these are layering techniques.
Transferring funds, okay, but the only thing this hiring a lawyer was confusing. Just
To oversee because
hiring a lawyer.
Oversee.
no, you need to continue the whole sentence. Just not hiring, just only not hiring the lawyer to oversee company accounts in offshore jurisdictions. They want to make sure that their transactions are normal, they're not being detected, so the layering is done properly. So they're getting the advice of a gatekeeper.
Not only layering, he mentioned doing all the three activities.
Yeah, but here, to overuse the company accounts there, that means the money is already there. So there is no placement, there is no integration. They didn't tell you that to oversee the withdrawal. It would be an integration. Or to oversee the placement. No, to oversee the account. The account, that means the money is there already clear there, and moving it to the offshore, that means already it's in the layering. So they are in the layering process here. So instead of telling you that they're using the lawyer for the layering process, they said they're hiring the lawyer to oversee the account offshore. That means the money is already transferred offshore, and they're hiring the lawyer to make sure that everything is fine, to provide the advice if they have any flaws in the layering thing. So it's a layering.
Offshore accounts integration can happen.
Integration, that means I need to withdraw the money, or I need to bring it back from offshore.
Or I can invest in any other entity in the offshore.
That's still layering.
Still like
Still layering. Integration, when I withdraw the money, either to, let's say, buy legitimate business, buy luxury assets, that's legal purposes, or illegal purpose that I will withdraw the money to go and buy drugs again. So here there is no withdrawal, so it's not an integration, and there is no placement. There is no deposit. That's not a placement. So it's definitely has to be layering. They are still in the layering process. Yep. 40, it's alpha. Okay. 41.
anybody has question? 41.
41C. Sorry, 41B. 42C. 43A. 44C. 43? Anybody wants 43? No. 44? 45? B? 46? A? 45? Okay. 45, it is B. Legal devices can be used to set up an entity to segregate assets or funds managed by an individual or institution for the benefit of a specified beneficiary. The deed establishing the entity does not necessarily name the beneficiary, but this person can control the entity's assets and funds. Such entities are called trusts, where it's hiding here the UBO, the ultimate beneficial owner.
Because many people think front companies.
Exactly. And we mentioned that trusts can always be used as a first step for money laundering. They can be used to do the placement itself. So it's easy way to place money into a trust. Yeah? 46, it's A.
So
True.
46 placement, layering and integration can be achieved using a single money laundering technique.
True.
Can you explain this?
Uh,
How can you do it?
it's very easy. Placement, layering, and integration can be achieved using a single money laundering technique. Because, for example, if you use a trade-based money laundering, you are doing actually the placement, layering, and integration at the same time.
So it's basically technique.
Yeah, the technique. So you can use one technique and you can do all the three
Trade-based
steps.
money laundering is a technique.
Is a technique, yeah.
So any other examples?
Insurance,
Life insurance.
yeah. You can do the placement, layering, and integration.
I have some questions here.
Sure.
40 and this one here. 'Cause
Which one? 40 what?
like on 40,
40.
the 40 is okay.
40 is okay. Okay. 41.
51 I put
Sure.
Give us an example on 46 again.
I will. Yeah. Sure. For 46, which is the techniques, right? Yeah, the techniques I mentioned, trade-based money laundering. So if I do trade-based money laundering, I can do the placement, layering, and integration, all using the same technique. The trade-based money laundering is the example.
So here actually we have never discussed, we have discussed about the methods of money laundering.
Yeah.
So we have not discussed about the techniques of money laundering.
Tec-
So is the method and the technique is same?
Techniques and methods are the same. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Only the verbally
Exactly.
synonym.
Yeah. What technique you use? You use money. I will use insurance. I will use trust. I will use trade-based money laundering. I will use, let's say, travel agencies.
Yeah, travel agencies is a tool to do. Or
Exactly.
it's a
Technique to launder money. Channel.
It's a channel.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we were thinking it's a technique is something more than this.
Yeah.
Having the skill to do.
No. No.
like example for travel agency, you can do a placement solution.
No. You can do placement, layering, and integration.
Technique and
Yeah, all in one.
method is same or not?
Yeah. All in one.
All are same.
Yeah.
So if you see any question about technique, it means money laundering method.
Yeah.
Because because in book they mentioned always about money laundering methods,
Yeah,
not about the techniques.
yeah.
Okay, can you go back to 41?
41. Okay. So 41, the right answer here is B. Bravo. In relation to the above example, I need to read the above example.
You have to read the 40.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, let me read the question first. In relation to the above example, which statement best describes the layering stage? The restaurant deposited the money into a bank account. That cannot be layering.
It's a placement.
It's a placement. The money is transferred to an offshore company. Yes, that's layering. The offshore company buys furniture from an Australian company. That's integration. A restaurant receives 3 million in cash over a period of time from an unnamed source. The restaurant deposited the funds into a bank account. That's placement.
That's the question.
See here, if we go to the previous question, if you see the offshore company, now there we are appointed a accountant as a lawyer to do layering, you say. But
Yeah.
actually there, the accountant can purchase to the amount, and he can purchase in Australian company, he is purchasing offshore from offshore company.
Yeah.
So the layering and also integration can be happened there. Sorry. Here you are saying the offshore company buys the furniture from an Australian company.
Yeah.
So actually what happens when we go through these questions, we will change our mind and we will go change that question.
Answer.
Yeah.
That's
That's right. Yeah, that's right. As I said, like the questions are very tricky, so you need to be very careful and you need to analyze, what the transaction is entitling. That's the key of it. Okay, so now we go to 47.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, so 42.
42.
Integration. Yes, C.
Yeah. 42 is C. 43 we already mentioned. 44. Okay. 45, 46. So now we go to 47. Huh? Anybody wants 47? It's A. True. 48. It is B. Bravo. It's false. 49. It is A. True.
Yeah, 48. Can we discuss?
48. Sure. 48 is B, which is false. Indicate whether the following statement is true or false. Integration cannot happen without layering because integration requires complex movement and disguising of funds as precondition. We said you do not need to pass by the 3 stages of money laundering. You can have 1 stage, you can have 2, you can have more. So you do not need layering or placement to go for the integration.
Once
No,
anyone.
I think cannot and without are the.
So that means true.
False.
Huh? It's false. Okay. Okay, so 49.
49.
A, true. 50. D, daddy, reputational risk.
Then
51.
51.
A. 52. B. 53. C. 54. A. True. 55. A. True.
Actually, 55 is a tricky question.
55. Okay. Indicate whether the following statement is true or false. When conducting customer identification, certain customers require enhanced due diligence. Customers with large and unverified deposits pose higher risk to reporting entities. It's 100% correct. Right? There's no issue.
Actually here the customer identification, certain customers require enhanced due diligence
Yeah.
with large and unverified deposits.
Yep.
So customer identification, we are thinking it is establishment of the relationship.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So here we are talking about establishment of relationship. Then we are going and talking about the large and unverified deposits.
Yeah, because I mean, as bankers, we always know that there is when the client comes to the bank, he doesn't understand starting of a relation. I come with the bank, I having an amount of money, I want to open an account, right? So they don't understand that there is two stages. For us, it's a two stages for us. I need to create a customer file, establish a relation, then provide the product. But when the customer is already coming, he's coming to open an account. So normally he's coming to open an account, he's already having either the check or the cash with him because he wants to make the first transaction. I want to open an account, I want to deposit this money. So at the identification stage, the customer will be coming to transact.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. Same thing also, if you want even to make better example for the walking by customer. For the walking by customer, he will not understand that he is not yet a customer. The bank needs first to establish a relation. That means they need also to create a file because, as I said, you cannot deal with walking by customer without knowing them. So part of knowing the customer is customer identification. But for me, as a customer coming to encash a check, what do I want? I want just to encash a check. I will not come to establish a relation, then I need to get the service. So this statement is 100% correct. There's no issue about it.
So there the identification made us.
Yeah.
But the same thing goes for 54 also.
54. Okay, I go for 54. 54, the right answer is A also. True. When conducting customer identification, certain customers require enhanced due diligence. Trusts, nominees, and fiduciaries need to be monitored closely because by definition they are regarded as potentially high-risk money laundering conduits. Yeah, that's correct.
This is
Yeah.
I basically answered it wrong, thinking that at the stage of customer identification,
Yeah.
we are not classifying any customer as high risk, medium risk.
No, actually,
Once we identify the
yeah.
only then we can decide.
Yeah, that's a very tricky one, yes. And if you look at the 4 elements of Basel KYC, you will find that customer acceptance, customer identification, ongoing monitoring, and risk management. That doesn't mean that the risk management is the last step. Actually, before I do all that, there is an initial risk management. Because let's say, remember the dial, like the speedometer that I showed you? Prohibited, high risk, moderate risk, low risk. So if he's prohibited, why he's prohibited? Because he's beyond my risk appetite. Because he could be blacklisted, because he could be very high risk. Do I require in this case to identify him? I will not even go to the second stage, although I will not even accept him. So there is an initial risk assessment, risk management. But why we mention risk management at the end? Because whatever risk management or risk assessment you do, it's a preliminary risk assessment. That's not the final one. That's why they put it at the end, because the final risk management is only when the client transacts and you really know the client because the transactions are in front of you. But that doesn't mean that there was no preliminary risk assessment at the beginning. I said that we risk rate the customer based on his profession, based on his nationality, based on his residency, whether he's resident or non-resident alien. All this is part of the risk assessment. So there is an initial risk assessment. Okay? So, where did we reach? So 57. Okay, 57 is D, daddy. 58. 58 is B, bravo. 59, B, bravo.
59.
56 is B, bravo.
7.
7 is D, daddy. 8, B, bravo. 9, B, bravo.
59 will discuss.
59. A financial institution opens an account for a travel agency. The travel agency conducts a very high percentage of its business in cash compared to other travel agencies in the same market. So that means the customer is not acting within his peer group profile. Okay? Let's read B. Proper due diligence is done at account opening and the customer and its accounts are properly monitored. So the principal AML responsibility of the financial institution is to ensure that proper due diligence is done at account opening and the customer and its accounts are properly monitored. Okay? Let's see the others. Proper due diligence is done at account opening. Okay? The customer and its accounts are properly monitored. None of the above.
Here the poll is actually because the account was already opened.
Yep.
So we are not going to do again that opening. So it can be only monitoring of the account.
That's right. Yeah, so the right answer here is B. B is the best answer. As I told you, not every answer will be wrong, but we're looking for the best answer. So don't think, I mean, like if you look at, you know,
Travel agency here,
C is not strong, but it's not the best,
okay.
you know? So,
Here, a financial institution opens
open an account for travel agents.
That means opening has been done.
Yeah.
The travel agency conducts a very high percentage of his business.
Yeah.
Now, since the account is already open,
Mhm.
that means they might have done due diligence before.
Yeah.
Before, and now it's only we have to checking the transactions.
Exactly. Yep. Okay, so, 60. 60 is A alpha. Okay. Okay, shall we move? 61, A alpha. 62,
61, 61.
61. Okay. When conducting customer identification, certain customers require enhanced due diligence. Non-profit organizations can be risky customers because they receive deposits from many unknown sources and are free to disperse funds to multiple sources for non-profit purposes. These charitable donations often cannot be verified, and enhanced due diligence should be applied to these customers. There is nothing wrong about any of this
No,
statement.
basically, I answered all such questions wrong because
Uh-huh.
of this customer identification thing.
Ah, okay. That's the trick. Yeah. Okay. 62, it's A alpha. 63, it's A alpha.
63.
63 actually A, B, C, and D. So this is, yeah. So which one you want, 62 or 63?
63.
63,
62, okay.
okay, 62. 62, it's a case study. I should not start by reading the case. So I will read the question. Which of the following money laundering risks does Penny Bank face? Okay. So, reputational risk, because an account maintained by a professional intermediary is considered a high-risk account, and there is always a possibility the bank may be embroiled in a scandal. Is it correct or no? Correct. Legal risk, because the bank may be identified as a collaborator of illegal activities if the lawyer is proven to be laundering funds. True. Concentration risk, because the bank has a large exposure to the lawyer. That's not concentration risk. Concentration risk is a credit risk where you are providing a large percentage of your credit portfolio to one customer. There is a high concentration for that customer. If that customer defaulted, you can lose your major part of your portfolio. Concentration risk is not the exposure to the lawyer, to the gatekeeper. No. Okay, so that's 3 is wrong. Okay?
3.
Okay?
Lawyer, what customer?
No, lawyer is a customer, but he is not holding large value of funds.
Yeah, exactly.
63 it says choose one or more answer. So we have to put 62, 3.
63 is one or more. So 63 here actually, A, B, C, and D are correct.
So if you put one of them is correct.
Wrong.
You have to put all
No, if you choose only one,
or two of them.
or 2, or 3 is wrong. You have to choose the 4. Yeah. So when I say choose one or more, that means you need to choose all what applies. You cannot just, yeah. So here the all,
One or more, choose everything.
no, not always. I mean, I'm saying when you choose one or more, it could be 1 correct, could be 2 correct, could be 3 correct, it could be 4 correct. So if it is 3, if you choose 1, it's wrong. If it's 3, if you choose 2, it's wrong. If it's 4, if you choose 3, it's wrong. So you have to choose all what applies. If I told you choose 1 or more, you need to choose all the right answers. You cannot miss out anything. Any single answer you miss, you get a 0.
Here the problem is A is okay, financial intelligence.
Uh-huh.
B is okay.
Mm-hmm.
C is a trap because
C. FinCEN monitors compliance of cash dealers with the US BSA Bank Secrecy Act and reporting entities with the BSA AML CTF Act. That's fine. That's correct. Yeah.
monitors compliance of cash dealers. Yes.
Yeah.
And reporting entities
Yeah.
with base.
That's correct. There's nothing wrong in here. So all the 4 options are correct. Okay? Many questions you will not like.
Fins and responsibilities, I think.
Yeah, you need FIUs. You need to look at fencing exactly because that's very important. So you need to read more about
They
fencing.
have not given much about.
Yeah, but
So the RBA, what's the
risk-based approach. Yeah, yeah,
so when they came to the exam, many questions came about.
about risk-based approach. Yeah, yeah, and that's why.
Guidance.
Yeah, that's why if you recall, I told you like in the beginning, I didn't get the books at the beginning because at that time, the books were having a certain price, the exam voucher a certain price. Now they made a bundle, so it's exam package. So whether you buy the books or you don't buy, you pay for it. So at that time, I said, why do I need the book? I'll go to the sources. So I went to the FATF, to Wolfsburg, to the European Directive, to the U.S. Patriot Act. I went to all the sources, and I passed my exam without getting the book. So again, what I'm telling you is you cannot only rely on your book. Wherever you can, go to the sources and get more info. That will help you a lot. Like, for example, the book did not cover, for example, the Caribbean FATF 19 recommendations. It comes. There was a question about the CFATF 19 recommendation. So there are lots of things which you may not find it very clear in the book because they assume that you have this knowledge. Remember, it's an advanced certification. So they're not supposed to go through each and everything. So again, wherever you get a chance that you want to go through or expand, it's always helpful. Yeah, that's why in the links that I sent you also the FATF 40 recommendations. It will not be mentioned in the book, the 40 recommendations. They're not there, right? But that doesn't mean that you should not go through the FATF 40 recommendations.
Recommendations they have mentioned.
Yeah, but did not go through them in details, like the FATF document. That's why I attached it as a separate link. You know, the latest update in 2012. So, as I said, the book, you need to read it from leaflet to leaflet, wherever you need to go more. So, for example, in the 2016, for example, Basel paper, it's always good to go through it. Like, even skimming through it. You don't need to go and memorize it, but you need to go and skim through it. Just read it. So at least when they tell you in the exam, you know what they're telling you about. And again, it's very important thing. We are not just studying to pass the exam only. We are studying to get qualified because that will benefit us in our work. So when we go through these things, it's very good. Like for me, for example, in the Wolfsburg principle, I went through the principles. Each principle, like, it's a booklet, for example, private banking, about the correspondent banking. I went through that. It's beneficial. The definition of the UBO, it's beautiful in the Wolfsburg. So the more you read, the more you get more knowledge, the better you are. So remember, the ultimate objective is not only the exam. Exam is important. I agree with you. But that's not the ultimate objective. Yeah? Okay? So, 64. Okay, 64 is C. 65 is B. 66 is B. 67 is B. 68 is A, alpha.
Actually, 68 is a trap here.
Trap. Yeah.
Natasha has bank account with bank. Her account balance is so and so.
Okay, actually, you should not read like this. You should read what form should the teller complete and send to FinCEN.
Yeah.
Okay, as
Because
a suspicious transaction report.
but here they are talking about the thresholds, like the CTR. Threshold report or
First of all, as I said, let's go as we should go. Which form should the teller complete and send to FinCEN? A suspicious transaction report, an international fund transfer instruction report, a threshold transaction report, a cross-border movement of physical currency report. Okay, Natasha has a bank account with Bank of New York. Her current account balance is US dollar 103.54. The only deposits in Natasha's bank account are her fortnightly salary payments of US dollar 1,800. On Monday, Natasha deposits 7,500 in cash, and on Friday she deposited US dollar 9,500 in cash. So she is clearly doing structuring. That's structuring. That's structuring. Where did
now here one more trap. Teller. Will teller file a STR? Yes. No. Compliance officer will file an STR. Yeah, like but best answer is this one.
This is the best answer. Yeah.
Threshold report, because in FinCEN they have a threshold report.
Yeah, but here nothing hit the threshold. She did structuring. Is there any transaction 10,000 above 10,000?
No, not like that. If you combine, if not only one transaction.
But
if you
it
combine
doesn't operate on combining. That's why they do structuring. What is the benefit of doing structuring?
If in a month
Yeah.
or in a week,
Yeah.
it crosses this one, that also they have to report.
Yeah, but they didn't mention anything about aggregation here. We're talking about this situation. So this situation is a clear structuring, so I need to file an STR here.
But I think the teller is wrong here. Teller cannot file an STR.
I'll tell you something. If you look at it from, it could be, but it can be an internal STR, yeah.
Because teller sends to FinCEN. How is it? Because teller, they don't have complete knowledge of
They should not file directly. I agree with you. They should not file directly to FinCEN, but there are lots of things which have not been explained in the case. So maybe they filed to the AML. AML did not do any action, so they don't want to do a willful blindness. I mean, this fact, it's not a complete case. But you don't need to go through all these details. Anyway, he's not here questioning who should file. He's telling you the teller which form the teller should file to FinCEN. So you need to pick up one. So what is the best that applies here? It's a STI, because here we have an STI.
Actually, what kind of forms teller will file? Can you explain?
For me, I would always file an internal STR, or
No, they will
or the
the
C.
rules of the FinCEN, they will file any other threshold reports, cash.
CTRs, yes, CTRs they do. They will file, yes, yeah. So and maybe that's why here they use this to confuse you, But here there's no STR because there is no crossing of the threshold. Did not cross the threshold here at all. Okay, so here a suspicious transaction report. Okay, it's a tricky one. Yes, I agree with you. It's not straightforward.
69 is okay. Boolean is
69 it is C. 70 it is B.
69C because Boolean means gold.
Yeah, gold bullion. Sabik.
Biscuits like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not a bearer instrument.
Yeah. Because everything else is. So the only thing, because it cannot write on it. So okay. So 70, B,
70.
B.
If you have any question, Manar, I think you mentioned.
Huh?
No, you wrote in your this.
Why it's B?
Okay, let's discuss 70. There is more than one person wants 70.
It's not an example.
Hmm?
It's not an example of typical.
Okay, 70. Which of the following is not an example of a typical alternative remittance process? Okay?
71.
What's alternative remittance, first of all? Hawala. Okay, so which of the following is not an example of hawala? The remitter identifies the customer by verifying two original documents.
Then what's the need for using alternative remittance?
Yeah. Right or no? So that's not hawala. Right? But a customer places an order with their chosen remitter. Yeah? The remitter's agent delivers funds according to an instruction. Yes. So B here is.
Correct. Because he's verifying the original document.
Yeah.
No, 71. 71 Manar wants.
Yeah.
The primary purpose of not.
And by the way, here, the trap here, actually people should be confused between B and C. Because C has a very big trap. Actually, this is my question in the exam. C has a very big trap. Because I said in hawala you transfer the value. And here I intended to say funds. But I didn't mention the transfer of fund. I said the agent, which is the hawala dar B, delivers the funds, which is correct. But if I said the transfer of funds, this will also be wrong. You got the point? So that's why here there's lots of traps. Funds is the key. I wanted people to read funds and say, oh, hawala is a transfer of value. But I didn't mention here about the transfer. I said that hawala dar B, the agent, the remitter's agent means hawala dar B. Delivered funds. Yes, he will deliver funds. But the transfer was for a value, not for the funds. You got the point? You got the traps? So that's why I said every word. Like remember in the example that we have mentioned, that the offender or the offense. Remember that example? Avoid criminalizing the offender where he lacks knowledge about the money laundering connection, right? But you cannot avoid criminalizing the offense. The offense has happened, but the offender will not be criminalized because he didn't know. Remember that example that we solved together? So that's why I said one word can turn the whole option into right or wrong. Okay? So C is a distractor. No, close distraction, not a faraway distraction. It's a very close distractor. B is correct.